There's a version of Universe 7 where Goku never knocked on the door of Kame House, where a 12-year-old boy with a power level of 10, already superhuman by Earth standards, never learned the Kamehameha, never learned to suppress his strength, never learned that power has consequences beyond victory. In that timeline, Goku still becomes the strongest, but the world that creates him is unrecognizable, and the warrior he becomes is something the Z-Fighters would have killed on sight. This isn't about whether Goku gets strong without training. It's about what happens when raw Saiyan biology meets combat experience without ever encountering philosophy, without discipline, without the understanding that holding back is sometimes the only thing separating a protector from a destroyer. Master Roshi didn't just teach Goku techniques. He taught him that strength exists in relation to something fragile. And when you remove that lesson from a Saiyan's development, you don't get a weaker fighter. You get something the universe was never designed to survive. The divergence point is deceptively simple. Bulma never crashes her car into a boy carrying a 4-star ball in the woods. Or she does, but Goku refuses to leave his mountain. Or Roshi rejects him as a student, seeing something in the child's eyes that reminds him too much of King Piccolo's emptiness. The mechanism doesn't matter. What matters is that Goku's first real teacher becomes combat itself. Without Roshi's structured training, Goku still fights. His Saiyan biology ensures this. The need for challenge is genetic, coded into his cells the same way a spider knows how to build a web. But the opponents change. Instead of controlled sparring matches with clear rules and a master who stops the fight before permanent damage occurs, Goku learns by hunting the strongest predators in the wilderness, by picking fights with bandits, by escalating confrontations until someone stops moving. He discovers the Kamehameha anyway, not from Roshi, but from raw experimentation. Saiyans are mimics. Goku copies Beerus's Hawkeye energy in canon after seeing it once. Without guidance, he'd still learn to channel ki into destructive waves, but he'd learn it the way a child learns that fire burns, through consequences, not instruction. His first Kamehameha wouldn't be aimed at a car or a boulder. It would erase someone who challenged him, and he'd feel satisfaction, not horror. This version of Goku reaches Raditz's arrival with a power level somewhere around 150, weaker than canon, but still dangerous, still Saiyan. And when his brother reveals the truth about his heritage, something clicks into place that Roshi's teachings had always suppressed. Goku doesn't reject Raditz. He listens.
The Saiyan reveal works differently without Earth's influence to dilute it. In canon, Goku's identity crisis lasts approximately one conversation before he defaults back to, "I'm from Earth." That resolution only works because Roshi, Krillin, and the others had already given him a framework for identity that superseded biology. They'd taught him that choices matter more than nature. Without that foundation, the reveal that he's an alien warrior designed for conquest doesn't contradict anything Goku believes about himself. It explains things: the constant need for stronger opponents, the satisfaction he feels during combat that has nothing to do with protecting anyone, the way his pulse quickens at the thought of fighting gods, not because the stakes are high, but because gods might actually hurt him. Raditz offers him exactly one thing: context for instincts Goku has spent his entire life following without understanding why. And in this timeline, without Piccolo to complicate the family reunion with a special beam cannon, the conversation continues. By the time Nappa and Vegeta arrive 1 year later, they find two Saiyans waiting for them. Not allies exactly. Goku doesn't trust Raditz, but they've established a functional dynamic. Raditz identifies strong opponents, and Goku fights them. The arrangement works until something stronger than both of them arrives. Vegeta recognizes immediately what Goku is, not the legendary Super Saiyan, something worse, a low-class Saiyan with elite combat instincts and zero political conditioning. No concept of the Saiyan hierarchy, no respect for Frieza's authority, no fear of consequences beyond his ability to survive them. The fight between Vegeta and Goku happens exactly as it does in canon, with one crucial difference. There's no Krillin to spare Vegeta's life, no Goku to ask for mercy. When Vegeta's great ape form falls and he lies broken in a crater, Goku finishes it, not out of cruelty, but of completion, because that's what you do when you win a fight to the death. The Saiyan race loses its prince, and Goku loses the rival who would have pushed him to transcend his limits through ideology, not just combat.
Namek is where the timeline fractures beyond repair. In canon, Goku arrives with clear objectives: save his friends, stop Frieza, protect the innocent Namekians caught in the crossfire. These priorities exist because Roshi taught him that strength protects the weak, that power creates responsibility. This version of Goku goes to Namek for one reason: Frieza is strong, possibly the strongest being in the universe, and fighting him sounds better than anything Earth can offer. He doesn't race to save Gohan. He doesn't prioritize the Dragon Balls. He goes directly to the largest power level he can sense and initiates combat. No speech about Krillin's death fueling righteous anger. No transformation triggered by protective instinct. Just a Saiyan who wants to fight a tyrant because tyrants are traditionally very powerful. The Super Saiyan transformation still happens. Saiyan biology guarantees it. Enough damage, enough desperation, enough S cells accumulated through combat, and the metamorphosis triggers. But the context changes everything. Goku doesn't transform to avenge anyone. He transforms because Frieza is about to kill him, and his body refuses to accept death when combat is still possible. What emerges isn't a legendary warrior. It's a Saiyan who just discovered that his species' genetic apex comes online when survival is threatened. And now that he knows the threshold, he'll chase that feeling for the rest of his life. Frieza dies, but so does Namek, and everyone on it. Because this Goku doesn't know instant transmission yet, doesn't prioritize evacuation, doesn't think about the Namekians as people who deserve rescue. The planet explodes with him on it, and he survives in a Saiyan pod by instinct, drifting in space until he crashes on Yardrat. He still learns instant transmission, but he learns it for entirely different reasons. Not to teleport to his friends, to teleport to strong opponents, anywhere in the universe, instantly.
By the time the androids activate, Goku has been wandering the cosmos for 3 years, fighting anyone strong enough to register on his senses. He returns to Earth not because he cares about the prophecy, but because Trunks mentions enemies who can't be detected by energy alone, opponents who might actually surprise him. The heart virus still infects him, but there's no Trunks from a future where Goku was a hero. In this timeline, Trunks either doesn't exist, Vegeta died on Earth, never getting together with Bulma, or he's the son of a Vegeta who never redeemed himself. The medicine doesn't arrive. Goku fights Android 19 while his organs are failing, wins anyway through Super Saiyan transformation, then collapses. He doesn't die. His Saiyan biology keeps him alive long enough for someone, Bulma maybe, out of pure scientific curiosity, to synthesize a cure. But the recovery takes months, and during those months, Cell absorbs the androids, achieves perfection, and announces the Cell Games. This is where the psychological break becomes irreversible. Goku recovers, senses Cell's power, and experiences something he hasn't since Namek: excitement without context. Not, I need to stop this creature from destroying the world, just, that thing is strong, and I want to know if I'm stronger. He fights Cell at the tournament, gives maximum effort, discovers that Cell is exactly his equal at Super Saiyan 1, and when Cell suggests he has more power in reserve, Goku does something canon Goku would never do. He asks Cell to show him, not to assess the threat, to see what he's fighting for. Cell obliges, and Goku,
Analyzing the gap, realizes he can't win at his current level, so he does what Saiyans do. He forfeits the match, tells Cell he'll return when he's stronger, and leaves to train. The Earth's survival is irrelevant. The challenge is everything. Without Goku to fight him, Cell doesn't get the battle he wanted. He destroys the planet out of frustration. Everyone dies. Goku, somewhere in deep space, senses the energy signatures vanishing and feels only mild disappointment that he won't get to test himself against them again. The Majin Buu arc never happens because there's no Earth to gather energy from. But Goku continues. He finds Beerus eventually, not through Supreme Kai's warnings, but because he hears rumors of a god of destruction and decides gods are probably strong. The fight happens. Beerus wins easily, and instead of being humbled, Goku is thrilled. He's found something beyond Super Saiyan, beyond mortal limits. He asks Beerus to train him, not to protect anyone, not to become a defender of Universe 7, just to become stronger than a god. Beerus, amused by a mortal with absolutely no attachments or heroic delusions, agrees, and over the next decade, Goku achieves Ultra Instinct, not through protecting others, not through emotional breakthroughs, through pure obsessive combat, through divorcing his consciousness from everything except the immediate fight. He becomes exactly what the angels feared, a mortal who reaches divine technique without divine responsibility, a warrior with no universe to protect, no people to care about, no reason to hold back, just endless, perfect combat for its own sake.
When the Grand Priest assembles the Tournament of Power, he includes Universe 7 out of protocol. Goku appears alone. No team, no strategy. Just a Saiyan who spent 40 years doing nothing but fighting, now placed in a battle royal with 80 of the strongest beings in existence. He eliminates 17 universes before the other fighters realize he's not trying to save Universe 7. He's trying to fight everyone at once. When Jiren confronts him, the collision of their powers cracks the world of void itself. Ultra Instinct against a mortal who abandoned justice for power. Two philosophies of strength meeting at their absolute apex. Goku wins, barely, but the victory is meaningless. Zeno erases the losing universes as planned. Universe 7 survives because Goku happened to be the last fighter standing, not because he cared about the outcome. The Grand Priest approaches him afterward and asks a question the show never had to address. What do you fight for? And Goku, for the first time in his life, has no answer, because Master Roshi never taught him that fighting needs a purpose beyond the fight itself. There's a moment in canon where Goku tells Frieza that a Saiyan raised on Earth is fundamentally different from one raised for conquest, that environment shapes instinct, that love creates limits that biology alone never could. Without Roshi, that lesson never takes root, and what you get isn't a villain. Villains have goals. You get something more unsettling. A warrior who achieves everything Goku was supposed to achieve, Ultra Instinct, divine power, victory against gods, and feels nothing. Because strength without context is just movement, and movement without purpose is just entropy. The timeline where Goku never trained with Master Roshi doesn't end with him becoming evil. It ends with him becoming empty. The strongest being in 12 universes, fighting because it's the only thing he knows how to do, winning because his biology won't let him stop. And somewhere in the world of void, after the Tournament of Power concludes, Goku asks the Grand Priest if there are stronger opponents in other multiverses. The answer is yes, and that's the only thing that still makes him feel anything.